Well, guys, it's the end of the day. We've had supper. It was so good. I'll have to say that was probably the best barbecue. We call it just barbecue, pulled pork. But that's some of the best barbecue I've done ever. I actually I made a couple of deliveries to my kids. I took each one of them a pound of barbecue since it was so good, and I know they love it. And the chicken too. Oh, it was so good. The flavor in it, that was right on the money. Rodney Scott, your barbecue ain't got nothing on this one. Well, in my opinion. This is what we're gonna do today. Some South Carolina style barbecue, shoveled in oak coals. 2 Boston butts. I don't know, what are they? 9.1 pounds and 8.54 pounds. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna put that on early and go out there and build my fire and be shoveling some coals on this. And then I got some chicken. I got 2 whole chickens I'm gonna cut up and have that for dinner tonight. This pulled pork will be going in the freezer in vacuum sealed bags. Stand by. All I'm gonna do with this is put some salt on these butts. No rub, just salt. Okay, I cut the biggest part of that fat cap off of both of these. I just got a little thin layer of fat that I'm gonna leave on, and most of that will render out during the cook. Sauce lab this morning. I've used a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And this is some new sweet red that I've made. It's real good, vinegar based, but I've come up with a nice half a gallon of sauce that I'll be using on this barbecue pork. The fire going. See that? I don't like the wind blowing, but we'll just have to manage it. Got a little stash here and more out there. We'll be burning some oak. Yeah, that's some oak I went and got about a year ago. It's nice and seasoned. So the wood can't be old and half rotten, and it can't be green, just cut. I'm leaving my door open at the top. That's where the smoke's gonna come out. We're not smoking, we're roasting. And I got my top vent closed. I'm not using the WSM as a smoker today, guys, and I've told you that before if you've watched this video from last year. Go back to last Thanksgiving, and I did one like this, but I finally figured out how to use this Weber Smokey Mountain like an open pit whole hog cook. And this is the way you have to do it. We're not smoking, so don't try to set it up as a smoker if you want to copy this. But this, you can't beat burning oak wood and shoveling those coals. So we're not smoking any wood, and there's no wood going in the cooker that's not already burned down the coals. And it produces, if you use oak and hickory pecan, mostly oak, that's what I say, but Midwest, I think they like hickory, and that's fine. But you can't beat that flavor that it infuses into that meat. Chicken or pork butt, it produces some of the best barbecue you'll ever eat. Anyway, enough said about that. I'm gonna go get the meat. All right, guys, it's time to put these butts on. I'll be down on the lower rack of my 3 tabs. I'm going to be going fat side up, what's left. Alright, that's what they look like. I just got a real thin layer of fat on the meat because we want it to render out. Okay, let's close this down. Now, remember I have the top vent totally closed, and the venting of any smoke will be coming out of the top of this door. I got a little piece of wire around the latch, and so it won't blow off. It's a little breezy today, but that's where I'm going to be venting my smoke. And I got these bottom vents about 1/4 open, and that's where we'll cook. Alright, we'll be back in about an hour and check on them. Me and old Tobe, we're just sitting up here on the porch minding the fire. This was one of the last cooler days that we're going to have before the hot weather sets in. We've had a few days of hot weather in the upper 80s, but it's 68 to 70 today, so it was a good day to do this fire cook and do the barbecue. Piddling with my garden yesterday. I'm not going to have a big one this year, but we're going to have something. It's time for my lunch. We're getting ready to come over here and have some lunch. Time for a sausage dog. All right. To the larger hoagie bun. Here we go. Got one long enough for the bun. Mustard, ketchup, and relish going in. I got some chili. Do you ever see Ruth's chili at the grocery store? Ruth, R-U-T-H. It's the product we have around South Carolina. But Ruth's chili is some of the best store-bought hot dog chili. Here's some raw onion here. I'm an onion man. I love onion on onion. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, look at that, look at that. I don't know if I can get my mouth open that big. I might have to take 2 bites just to get 1 bite. Alright, I'm gonna finish this up and still watching this pit. I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, it's time for us to spritz this with some apple cider vinegar. Okay, we're right at the 3-hour mark. 158 and 161 on the butts. I'm going to peep in and check on them and maybe turn them over. Oh yeah, oh yeah, that's nice, very nice. Vinegar. Tell you what I'm going to do in about a couple more hours. I'm going to be bringing chicken out. 2 whole chickens cut up, quartered. I'm going to put these on the top, put the chicken where this rack is. Yep, that's what I'm going to do. Alright, let me close it back. Okay, if you want to see, it's 3 hours in, what it looks like inside. There's not much wood in there. I'll be refiring it in a little bit. I'll show that to you when I get to that point. Everything's looking good. My fire, it's just barely going, but it's just staying so consistently at the temperature. I'm not having to refire it. I haven't refired it but twice in 3 hours. All right, I'll check back a little later. All right, I'm gonna refire it. Let me get me a shovel full of coals. You see how much I got on there? It doesn't take much. I've already done one side. That's all it takes. That's it. Listen at them, they're noisy. They just got here. There they go. They'll come back. Watch them circle back. There they come. I love watching these purple martins. You talking about sitting in the swing over there in the afternoon when they all come in from feeding. They're just so much fun to watch. They sitting on, they just about nesting. They building nests. Some of them may be nesting. There they go. Anyway, thought I'd show them to you. Okay, we're getting ready to do a switcheroo. We've been on about 10 minutes shy of 6 hours. So the 8.5 pound bud is at 203 and the 9 pound bud is at 192. But I'm getting ready to put those butts on the higher rack and put 2 whole chickens cut up in quarters on the rack where the butts are on the lower rack in this WSM. We've been cooking a little on the high side. This big spatula works good. Woo! Oh, this thing's really... These things are done, really. Let's set this chicken down in here. Tell you what, I'm going to take this probe from one of those butts and stick it in this chicken breast. We'll use the one on the right, yeah, for the chicken. Like I said, this smaller butt is 201. I'm going to let it go to 204. And now, we'll put this one back in this big butt. I like big butts and I cannot lie. Alright, let's open my door back up, put my latch back on, my latch on the latch, got my 1.5 inch gap on the door, top vent closed, 2 of the bottom vents closed, and 1 vent on the bottom is just barely cracked. That's where you have to run this to do what I'm doing. Alright. Whew, let me get back over here. It's funny, it was supposed to be a cool day today. 68 to 70, but it's warmed up fairly decent. It's probably about 74, but I'm around this fire too. Whew, got in my eyes. All right, we're on the back end of this cook now. I've been cooking fast, hotter than I normally do, but it's looking good. I've been smelling that pit. You can't get that smell from any other way, but I've been smelling it sitting up on the porch there, and it's a delightful smell when you pit cook a hog, or in this case 2 butts, and you've got that the oak wood burned coals you're shoveling underneath it, and it's about, I don't know, 18 inches down below the meat. Now I've got the butts up on the top grate, and I've got the chicken down there. So I need to, matter of fact, hit that timer for the chicken, and we'll start that one. The second one down is for the chicken, and the butts have been on right at 6 hours. So I feel pretty good about it. T-Roy's been here with me all day long. Thank you, T-Roy, for doing that. I appreciate it. But all right, we're gonna let that chicken get done in about probably, I'd say, another hour. We'll be taking those butts up and saucing them down, putting some seasoning on them. We'll be back. I'm gonna check the temps. Going 200 down there. So 203.06. I'm gonna go ahead and put the sauce and season on it. Do is make some cuts. Got a nice crusty bark on there. I want to make a few slits in the meat where this stuff will get down in there, but I don't want to tear it up yet so it won't fall apart inside the cooker. Yeah, that'll work. Ooh, that's tender. Some apple cider vinegar. And you just put some on there, sprinkle around. And just pretend like this is in the sauce. But there's vinegar in the sauce too. Believe me, as I said before, time you stir all this up, you're not going to be overpowered with anything. It takes the right good bit of salt and pepper. Salt it till it's white. I usually use kosher salt, but this time I'm going with the regular table salt. Seems to give it a better flavor. Black it till it's black. Red till it's red. This is red pepper. And when you tear all this up and mix it together, you won't taste anything standing proud. Don't worry about it. And then here's some sauce. I'll go ahead and put a little bit in there. I'll be putting some more in when we get inside and tear it all up. This is some that I put together. It's part store-bought and part some of mine. There's our butts sauced and seasoned, and we're just letting it sit there for about 15 minutes, and then we'll take it up. I've been out here 7 hours and 10 minutes, but butts got taken up at 6 hours and a half. Internal on this chicken is 163 and 162 on those two breasts. So I'm going to go ahead and put sauce on and let them finish temping up. This side get seared up a little bit. Okay guys, it's time to tear up this Boston butt. I've already sauced it and seasoned it with the initial. Tear it up, mix it up, get us some hooks here. Got the bones sticking out. I've had it covered up about 45 minutes. It's just been sitting over here under this foil. Yeah, 9-pounder. Look how pretty that is, that color. I'll show it to you when we get inside, but sometimes out here on the porch, it doesn't really show the color I'm looking at. It's about time to taste it before I proceed any further. Woo! Let me taste a piece of it here. Oh, it needs more everything. Needs more salt, more black pepper. Oh, red. Got is my red pepper flakes. There's some in that sauce, but I like to put some on the meat too. There we go. A little more vinegar and a little more sauce. All right. Oh, look at that nice crusty back. I love that. I'm just knocking it all out. Needs more vinegar, more sauce. Getting it seasoned right is important. Yeah, look at that nice piece of bark. Woo! Guys, up from the Midwest and out west, you may not be familiar with this kind of barbecue, but this is vinegar-based barbecue and it's absolutely delicious. All right, let's try it again. Look at there. That's good stuff there. Yum, yum. Well, waiting a few minutes on that chicken. We're done with this barbecue, this pork, and the chickens. All right, we'll close this out in just a minute. Guys, it's been a good cook and a good day. Yes, it has. It wasn't too hot. I caught this on a mild temperature and it all worked out just fine. That's what I was wanting. Well, what do you think? I think that'll eat right there. Yeah, baby. Here they come. There's 1 in, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Wow, here comes some more. 14, 15, 16. I got at least 16 birds. I usually have 16 to 24 birds before the season's over. Yeah, they stay gone hunting all afternoon, and then they come in right before dark.